Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome. It's time for your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, from here at the headquarters, Capitol Complex at Okmulgee, Oklahoma, the Muskogee Creek Nation, welcoming you in, thanking you for being with us for another Saturday here on Tulsa's CW 1219. We feel like we've got a great show lined up for you this week. Lots of things to share, lots of things to get to. It's been very busy around here, but we love that because that just, affords us the opportunity to bring you more stories, bring more information, bring more news out to our tribal citizens about our tribal people and our tribal nations doing great things in the community. So we went out to Norman, not us, but there's a group that went out to Norman for the Sooners for N7 event at the University of Oklahoma. They're on the practice fields for the football team, nationally ranked, renowned football program there, OU football. They could sort of pick and choose when they're going to afford their time to certain things. So definitely a very, very neat thing for Nike and the N7 movement, Native American movement there at Nike, to partner up with OU football and to have them out. And it wasn't just a few players. It was some top name players there in the program came out to visit the kids and be with the Native kids on this day. So we're definitely glad about that. And we're going to talk with Christina Goodvoice. She actually went to the event. She's going to tell us a little bit about it, all the great things going on there in Norman yesterday. Also, we've got other great stories to get to today. We went to the Week of the Young Child Parade here downtown Okmulgee this week, a big event for the Office of Child Care, Head Start, all of our centers that are in early childhood development. Big week of the Young Child, and the parade sort of kicks everything off, and we were there to file a story from it. Very, very glad to have that. Also, Legal Services Department over at the Attorney General's office at Creek Nation. It's a very helpful thing for our tribal citizens to be able to, when they don't have the resources to get their own legal services, we have a department here that can help with certain things. And we visited with Bethany Salzman over there at the Attorney General's office, actually my sister-in-law, but she does a great job and handles that as an administrator. Her and Muskogee Creek Nation Attorney General Roger Wiley work really hard on the legal services program, and they're proud of it and want to talk about it to the citizens that may not know that it's available, and to give them a little bit more information on it. And that's what Native News Today is for. So we've got a great show lined up, and as I said, not only will we have our stories, but we'll have an in-studio guest as well, and we'll also take a look at the bus, the Muskogee Creek Nation coach bus, the first one that came back from Horseshoe Bend on that historic trip there. We're going to have elders, people from the Native Praise Choir telling us about their experiences right when they come off the bus. So we want to thank you all for being with us. We've got a lot of great things to get to, and we'll be right back with Christina Goodvoice in studio. You're watching Native News Today.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. So give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
Pumunakadat nak aza gidomen ajai jahaniat omen ibuhwakidos
Danielsen ogitskish ponshongi benoat pomio poshomizatlish
Momesh harishongi go imongin hobidagi ani omaga pomaha hoye imongin oma ponshomegigos. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
And welcome back to Native News Today, and I'm joined now with special guest Miss Christina Goodvoice. She's the manager here at Muskogee Media, but more importantly, wanted to get her input because before she started all that managerial stuff, you know, she was a reporter right in there with the rest of us getting the news and stuff like that. So yesterday, you actually took a trip to Norman, very special day for our Native kids. Can you talk a little bit about that event?
Yes, the Sooners for in-7 event took place at OU on the practice field. There were OU athletes, there were football players, baseball players, soccer players, I mean, anyone you can imagine, and they had a really great crowd show up. Some kids from the Creek Nation, from Chickasaw Nation, Choctaw Nation, and I'm sure some of the other tribes were there, but those were the most noticeable groups of kids that were there.
And what's neat too is kind of how the Muskogee Creek Nation and our tourism and recreation department, we always use them together, but recreation specifically has really worked with N7, Roger Johnson, different health and wellness things, events, and you know, things that come out that they're partnering all the time. And so this is just another example of that.
Yes, they had, I guess Creek Nation was one of the sponsors of this event, and so Roger Johnson, recreation manager for tourism, he actually was there providing a nutrition little session with all the kids.
Yeah.
And then they had stickball stations where,
cool.
well, actually I think there were about 5 or 6 stations. There was stickball, there was beading, there was soccer, racing. They had the kids lined up and the kids were racing each other, and then jump roping, a jump rope contest and things like that. And then all on the side they had bins of bananas and oranges and water, cold water.
Good deal.
It was a really beautiful day for you.
I was going to say, it was very, very, very nice. And for those kids anyway, and I know you can speak specific because your kids actually went, and I know they probably had a great time. Did they talk about it on the way home, all that kind of stuff? Excited?
Yes, they were really excited to be there.
Because they're OU fans, right?
Yes, yes. They're future Sooners.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm following in Mama's footsteps.
Exactly, right?
But they loved just being around all the other kids and then all of the activities. And then they all, when they left, they all got a goodie bag. It was one of the little ball bags, the Nike N7 bag. And so just for them to take something away filled with N7 items, and there was a little figurine of Boomer Sooner, one of the mascots.
And they were like taking pictures with the mascots and the players, actually.
Yes, the players were there.
From what I saw, taking pictures. Quarterback Trevor Knight, got to mention him now after the Sugar Bowl, and he's sort of becoming icon status quickly. And I see he takes a picture with Philip Kuhn, our national treasure at the Muskogee Creek Nation, Bataan Death March survivor. He takes pictures with the kids. It was so neat to see all of the Sooners, the coaches, the players out for our Native kids. And I think, you know, when you go to events like that, you kind of see where the Muskogee Creek Nation, Chickasaw Nation, all working together to sort of provide this great thing. But you see also reputable big-time organizations like OU Athletics joining in with us. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, don't you?
Yes, I think so. And it's a good partnership. And it's a really big deal. And kids, I know, just think them even being on that practice field the same as this, you know, well-known OU football team. It's just something that they're like, I'm right here, and I'll bet they're over there. And then seeing them actually there, walking around on the field, watching some of these football players out there playing stickball. I mean, what kind of thing is that for a Native kid to see? Is to see one of their heroes out there playing their sport. That's
got to be so cool, and it's very neat to, you know, see the intertwining of something that's such a big part of Oklahoma history and culture as our Native tribes and our OU football. I mean, to see those two kind of mesh together in events like that. And you know, we have our other teams in this state too, OSU, Tulsa, that have done great things, and didn't want to just center out OU just because we're alumni. But no, shameless plug here for the university. But no, they all do a great job. They do different things with Nike, and really a kudos to Nike as well. The N7, you got ambassadors like Sam Bradford, Nota B. Gay, Jacoby Ellsbury, one of your personal favorites there. Even though Red Sox Cardinals, we got in a little bit of a fight last year in the World Series, but we've made up and we're all good now.
Well, especially since he's a little bit of a traitor and he's a Yankee now.
He's
so
a Yankee
we don't speak that name anymore.
Exactly right. Only whenever he's doing Nike N7 work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Christina, thank you for the update on everything going on in Norman there with the N7. And as I said, these events will continue. We're going to look for them to continue and be lots better as we go on. So a great event there. Great job by Roger, everybody at MCN Tourism Recreation, and great job of you taking the kiddos, being mom of the week for sure. So,
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to go to a break here. We'll be right back with the rest of the show. Don't go anywhere.
There's a story I heard hundreds of times growing up. The story about the day my grandpa disappeared. I grew up in a world of songs.
I always think of the songs really being the spirit of something. There's a story.
They are the same songs our ancestors sang on the Trail of Tears.
They carry the grief, but they also carry this great love that works the same way at death.
There was one little drop of blood on the back fender, and his glasses was on the dash, but no sign of him.
As they searched, you could hear these songs echo through the forest.
I didn't realize what that would lead me to. The whole rich story of American music history that had never been told. What would you say is the first American music?
Our histories are not written, they are spoken through stories. They are told through our songs.
I want to talk to that man, but he's gone. He's gone somewhere.
When we sing these songs, we're waking up God.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma?
Along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy.
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to.
For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. I want to thanks again to Christina Goodvoice there, manager of Muskogee Media, coming back with the little report there from Norman and the Nike Sooners for N7 event. Great day there, beautiful day for our Muskogee Creek citizens and our other tribal brothers and sisters that were there as well. I want to thank OU, Nike, and all the people involved, Roger Johnson, Tourism Recreation, doing fantastic work. Also doing fantastic work is the ladies and the gentlemen that in our early childhood development centers, in our early childhood development head starts, all of that goes on at the Muskogee Creek Nation. And everybody rallies around that because we know how important our children are to the future of this nation, to the future of our culture, preservation, to the future of our language. They're so important. So it's, we need to make them feel so special all the time. And that's what Week of the Young Child is about. We really celebrate our children and really put them at the forefront in the parade and things like that, giving them a great week. So we were there at the parade and we talked with some great people that were there too.
Well, I think it's great to be here for the Week of the Child, celebrate our future. They're our future, and as you can see, they're up and coming, and they're going to do great things as long as we support them, as long as we show them love, and we help them along. I think that's all of our jobs, to look after the young people, and they're going to do great. They're going to do great things.
Okay, we're here in downtown Okmulgee for the Week of the Young Child Kickoff Parade. I'm with Barbara O'Neill with Muskogee Creek Nation Child Care. And Barbara, this is always a big a big week for Muskogee Creek Nation during the calendar year, but it's all about the kids.
Yes, it's all about the kids, and this is a national event that has been started by the NAEYC, which is a national early childhood organization. And so we've done this for years, but here at the Creek Nation, well, I guess we've been doing this for maybe the last 8-10 years that we've been doing this. So.
I know it's a big point of pride for the nation. Lots of people come out, as you see, so many different departments, but everybody gets around our kids and rallies around our child care centers, and I know you're very proud of that.
Yes, I am. When we started this, we probably had 5 centers come out. Didn't have very many programs, but each year it just gets bigger and bigger. We've recruited the Okmulgee Drum Corps from the band there, and so they started leading us, and people know we're coming now.
Absolutely. Well, I know that a lot of people out there know about our child care development and things that go on, but talk a little bit about the Muskogee Nation's child care and how many centers we have and what all it offers.
Okay, we have 7 centers. They're located at Okmulgee, Tulsa, Sapulpa, Wetumpka, Okemah, Holdenville, and Eufaula. So we take all Native children and non-natives. So they can just come in and get an application, and we're usually full. Yeah. So we a lot of times we have to put them on the waiting list, but we try to get them in as soon as we can.
I hear you. Yeah, and that happens everywhere. And you guys do a fantastic job. I know so many people that entrust their child's care to the Muskogee Creek Nation, and that's a great thing. But also, this isn't just the only thing all week. There are going to be things going throughout the week. I believe Thursday there's also a fun fair.
Yes, we were supposed to have a fun fair today, but because of the rain, it's muddy. We're going to have our fun fair on Thursday, so anybody can come out and participate in that. Also, we're doing a lot of things with the child abuse. We're going to be tying ribbons around the council house after we finish with the parade.
Wonderful.
So we've just been doing a lot of things with the kids, not only in our department, but all the other departments.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara, for the time. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and it's always great to celebrate the Week of the Young Child.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks. And thanks again to Barbara O'Neill, all the great people out at the parade, making that a memorable day for those children, and just to see all the smiling faces and the laughter and being a part of the parade. You know, it's so big time and their eyes light up. It's so neat to see that, and it's very, very neat to be able to bring it to you as a feature story here on Native News Today. Rolling right along, we just went across the campus here this week to the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office, through legislation, now has the legal services program for the tribe, and Muskogee Creek citizens now have access where they may not have before or in the past to legal services assistance. It's a great thing, really helps out with many, many cases that we handle in the courts and consolidates it there for the Attorney General's office. They really take care of a lot of things, and this is just one more, but they do a fantastic job. And I went over and spoke with the administrator of the legal services program, Bethany Salzman. She, and along with Roger Wiley, they're doing a great job with that program. They wanted to share all the good news and the information about it.
We took over the legal services program in August of 2012. That's when legislation passed to move it in-house to our office. So we took over probably generally around 400 files in October of 2012. Those files consisted of anything from divorce, paternity, custody, probate files, guardianships, adoptions. We took those on. We started contracting with 19 different attorneys throughout our jurisdictional boundaries to handle those cases. The legislation basically consolidated what we can handle. The types of cases that we handle now presently are uncontested probates, uncontested guardianships, and the drafting of wills for citizens. Well, basically, any citizen that cannot obtain legal services because of certain circumstances, income, they just don't know where to look for certain legal services. They don't know really what they need to look for. We just try to assist them if they're looking for a guardianship for their grandchild, or maybe a child that has aged out that has a disability that they need a guardianship over their own child. we help them basically get that support that they need, get the services that they need. We prepare the paperwork for them. It's completely free of charge for Creek citizens. Anyone that needs assistance with a probate, that has a loved one that has passed away, that may have assets that are still in their name, such as minerals, lands, private property, restricted property, trust properties, anything like that. They think that if they have a will, that takes care of everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Even if you have a will, you are required to go through probate. And probate just basically takes every asset that someone has in their possession at the time of death, and it basically distributes that property. The courts come in. If you don't have a will, they basically distribute the property equally amongst all legal heirs. If they do have a will, they try to keep as close to the will as possible. Basically, we do have our website up and running now, so they are more than welcome to go on the website and print off an application or an intake form. They can obtain one in our office here at the Creek Nation Complex. We can fax them, we can mail them, we can scan them, any way that they need us to get it to them, it's no problem. Basically, we just need them to fill out that intake, get it back to us. We do ask for a few additional documents to be returned with their intake form, such as a copy of their citizenship card. We may ask for a copy of the death certificate, things like that if they're asking for a probate. And then we will just take their information, review it. If everything looks okay, we'll be back in contact with them to let them know whether we can proceed with helping them with what they need. So far we have not had very many complaints. National Council, to my knowledge, is very happy with how we're proceeding with handling legal services. Of course, you're going to have a few complaints from some, but we try to address those as quickly as possible.
And thanks once again to the Legal Services Program there and Attorney General's Office for letting us come in, highlight that great program, and get some vital information out to our citizens. We're rolling right along here with the program. As I told you, the Horseshoe Bend trip, the historic and the monumental trip that our tribe took, over 200 folks going out to that site for the bicentennial commemoration of the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. The buses went out, the coach buses for the Muskogee Creek Nation, carrying traditional folks, artisans, all kinds of elders, Native Praise Choir. And the first bus that came back, we were actually there when they pulled back into Creek Country here at the Capitol Complex in Okmulgee, and I was able to just get a few thoughts from the folks on the bus, some of the elders, some of the Native Praise Choir, talking about just wanting to get their firsthand experience and share that with the folks that maybe had to stay home. But it's really neat being able to talk to them right when they came off the bus, and you get really just the raw emotion. So we were glad to be there.
Oh, the trip was fun, and the drivers and everything. The one we seen at the Horseshoe Bend, that was very good, and it was exciting, and that's the most trip that anybody should take. It's a good place to go and visit.
I've always wanted to make it back to my ancestral homeland, and I got a chance to go, so I took it, and it was the most enjoyable trip I ever experienced, and it felt good to be down there with our ancestors, and we could feel the spirits when we got there, the spirits, you just feel them, all through the ceremony and everything, and plus the stomp dance. They seemed like they were there with us, and it felt good to be there. And I would like to make that trip again someday, It was a great trip with the seniors here, and plus the native, the Native Praise. They were wonderful on their songs and prayers, and it made the trip whole, just wonderful. And then also, once we got there, all the people there welcomed us, and it was a good, good time there. They treated us real well down there, and it was great, I just want to say that I want to thank Muskogee Creek Nation for allowing me to go on this trip, and it was wonderful.
We only took just our Creek tribal members from our choir. There were 11 of us who traveled together, and Edwin asked us to help to lead out not necessarily become a performance to lead out congregational hymns that are normally sung in our Muskogee language among our Indian churches. And so that's exactly what we did, and we weren't really a choir so much as we were just leading out in the congregational hymns. And it was an honor for us. We truly believe it's one of the highlights of our ministry that we've ever had, to know that we got to go back and be a part of history, but also see the history that's behind that we know of now. And it's made us all want to go back home and search and learn more of ourselves. And many of us were able to go and see the places that were of our beginnings. And I'm from Tugabuchi, and so I was. It was such a blessing just to know that that's my family. It's my family, and I appreciate. We just appreciate every one of us. We had a great time meeting new friends, our own tribal members, and the bus was great. We had a lot of fun. We laughed a lot, and most of us are elders. We're not young people, but we all came together as one, and we felt the bond throughout the entire time we were there, from the minute we got on that bus till all of us are getting off. And we're looking forward to seeing each other again.
And that's going to wrap it up for another episode of Native News Today. I want to thank all of you for being with us, for making this program what it is. We couldn't do it if we didn't have viewers out there watching our content, and you really motivate us to go out and get some stories and get some information and get the good things that are happening in Indian country, bringing them to your television sets at home. I want to thank all the folks that made the show content happen this week, from our Attorney General's office here at the Muskogee Creek Nation Legal Services Department. Really need to look into it if you need some information on that. Also, our Week of the Young Child. You know, we'll celebrate our children all year round here at the Muskogee Creek Nation, but that is the week where we mark it on the calendar, that we really put it at the forefront. We have a parade, we have a fun fair this week, all kinds of things. And Barbara O'Neill and the folks at Child Care here at the Muskogee Creek Nation do a wonderful job, and we want to salute them for all their hard work. And also, taking a look with, Christina Goodvoice being in studio with us. Want to thank her again. Going to the N7 event. That's so neat to be able to see our tribal folks having such a nice time there at OU, and meeting some coaches and players and really mingling with them, and going through some health-based activities and things like that. It's always great to see that and share that great mission. So we had a great show this week. We're going to have more great shows. And if you can't get enough of us here on CW 1219, you're more than welcome to visit our YouTube page. Just go and type in Native News Today, a search. You'll get all of our videos. We've got quite a library on there, quite an archive built up of past shows, PSAs, tribal commercials, chief addresses. You'll find a little bit of everything on our YouTube channel there. You can also go to our Facebook page. If you type in Native News Today, you go right to our Facebook page there. Got many followers and fans on the page there. Also Twitter. We're really getting up there with our Twitter follows. Want to thank you all for that. At Native News Guys. If you tweet and go on Twitter, check us out. It's a good way to keep up with the show throughout the week, see where we're at and what we're doing and how we're collecting our stories. So with all the great work that goes on throughout the week here to make this show happen, couldn't not mention the crew, Jared Moore, Tyler Roberts, Devaney, all the people here that do a great job and help us put the show together, Amanda Rutland. And so everybody out there, have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday on Native News Today.